Hi friends, it's Diana here today, and today I'm coming at you with another sewing tutorial. This time we're doing the Established Cascading Jacket. This jacket is super quick to sew. It is super cute. It's got this really nice shape to the front. I think you're gonna love it. I love it. So let's get started. Alright, for this pattern I need my two sleeves, my pockets, if you're adding pockets. If you're doing the two-piece, this is the one that I'm going to sew together. You will have two front pieces, or you can have one solid front piece. You need your neck facing, and you need your two backs. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to mark where our waistline is on our pieces, our front pieces, A and B. And I did that by adding a little clip. And then I'm going to grab my pocket and I'm going to mark where my piece is, my line, my placement piece is on my pocket. Now I'm going to have a liner and an outer for each one. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my pocket and I'm going to place them where that mark is. And we're going to sew them onto our pieces. So here's the one piece, and then the other piece is going to get sewn over on the other side, facing whoops, there went my clip. And I'm gonna go ahead and sew it straight on to my front. I'm going to be actually sewing this on with my serger. I'm just gonna go straight with my serger. You can do this with a sewing machine, however you want to sew it. This is the wrong side of my fabric, and you can go ahead and push your seam allowance towards your pocket and put in a stay stitch. You can put in a top stitch right here to have your pocket lay really nicely. And once you do that, we're going to flip it around. This is the right side, and we're going to grab our other piece. So we're going to match up those two pieces, piece A and B, front A and B, and we're going to face them right sides together and match up this outer seam, this inner seam right here. I'm sorry, that's the outside. This is the side that is at your inside. And we're gonna go, okay, if you don't have a pocket, you're gonna go straight up, but because we have this pocket, we're gonna go up around the pocket and then straight up the whole seam. And we're gonna do that with both. We're gonna do that with both sides. I am using my serger for my pockets, but if you have a hard time with pockets and you want a neater seam, we do recommend that you use a sewing machine with a stretch stitch. That will give you a more precise edge around your pocket. And then come back, if you want to finish off the edges, come back and use your serger afterwards. Here's our pocket, here's our piece A and our piece B of the front. Now we're going to go ahead and steam this seam towards the piece B. Make sure that you're careful with your steam iron, settings, so you don't ruin your fabric. Now we need to attach this pocket some way that it's not going to just flap around when we're wearing it. So what we're going to do is you can use pins, you can use chalk, you can use, or you can go in and do a basting stitch all the way around, and then we're going to come around and top stitch it from the other side. So I'm just gonna, for right now, I'm just gonna put pins on it, and I'm gonna show you. Alright, now this is what it looks like on the front, and you can see the pins showing through. We're gonna go back and top stitch along where those pins are, or just go ahead and mark it so that your pins, you don't run over your pins. But we're gonna top stitch all along here, or you can, if you want to, like, this fabric that I'm using is like already lined. It's a quilted fabric, so I could literally just go in, if I didn't want to see the stitching from the outside, I could go in and hand stitch it on or something like that to give it a different look. But I am just gonna go ahead and top stitch along because it is quilted. I think it'll be fine if I have a top stitch line on this. I'm also going to go ahead and do the same thing for the other pocket as well. That's done, and then now we're gonna go ahead and go top stitch. I'm using my cover stitch to top stitch, And I am removing my pins as I go because I don't want to run over them. Alright, my pockets are done. So now that they're top stitched, they'll stay and they won't like drag down. So I'm going to put the front bodice aside. I'm going to grab my back bodice and I'm going to lay it out. And I'm going to lay one piece right side up and then the other piece right side on top of each other, right sides together. And I'm going to sew along that back area, so that back seam. If you can see, it has like this nice shape, and this is the reason why the back has two pieces instead of just being one piece cut on the fold, because it gives you this really nice shape. As your back is not always straight, your back usually has like a swing shape in the back, so this gives a really nice shape right here. So let's go sew that up. I want to give that back seam a nice steam. To give it, steaming your project as you're going really gives it a really nice finish when you're done. Now I'm going to grab my back piece, I'm going to put it face up. I'm going to grab my collar piece, and you want to put some interfacing on the back of it, but as you can see, my fabric is already lined, so I don't need to add interfacing to mine, and that's why I'm not adding it. So you would add interfacing to it, and then if you want to finish off the raw edge at the bottom, you can do that with a serger. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and go and attach it to my neck. So I'm going to pin it right here in the center and then go to one side and then the other. Right sides together. All right. Once that's sewn together, we're going to flip it to the front and we're going to give it a good steam. Now my fabric is like a stretch pleather fabric, so you're gonna see I'm gonna put like a cloth on top to give it a good steam because I don't want to burn it. And then what we're going to do is we're gonna go over to our sewing machine, and we're going to, right here on the shoulders, I'm gonna baste the shoulder down on the two sides, and on the neckline I'm gonna top stitch it down so that it'll stay down. So I'm gonna top stitch, do a little top stitching right there and hold this neckline down. All right, my shoulders are basted on, my facing is basted on. I'm gonna grab my front piece and make sure your arm side is this way, so this is gonna be on this side. And when we're going to attach them right sides together, would you prefer stretch stitch? But there is going to be a little extra fabric, about 1/4 inch of extra fabric here at the edge on the neckline side, because what we're going to do is after we sew it together, we're going to top stitch this part down a little bit, that 1/4 inch. So it's going to make it flush. So you have to have 1/4 inch extra fabric right here at the edge. Just keep that in mind when you're sewing it. I'm going to start by sewing from the outer edge to the inside edge so that my extra seam will hang out at the end. See if you can see right there my little extra piece, my 1/4 inch. All right, I've got my little extra 1/4 inch right there, and I'm going to fold that towards the inside, and I'm going to give it a little top stitch in. Now this pattern is meant to be left raw, so because of that, this little fold right here is you're going to go back and forth right here and top stitch that, but this is going to help the fabric roll towards the inside instead of just flipping out, and it's going to give it a better look. Now if you do want to hem instead of leaving it raw like the pattern is meant to be, you can continue that later when we're done, and you're going to just sew that together, top stitch it down, so you can keep going from that. But you're just top stitching that 1/4 inch from this side, is just folded down and top stitched right here, and you're going to go back and forth right here to tap it down, and you're going to do that on both sides. It's right here again, and we're going to turn in and top stitch it down right there. After we do that, we're going to sew our side seams together, but I'm going to go ahead and prep them now while I'm here. Here's my back, right side up. I'm going to grab my other piece, place it right sides together, and sew that side seam. And the same on the other side, right sides together. And oh my goodness, that's gonna look so good. I'm also going to go ahead and grab my sleeves and I'm gonna fold them right sides together and sew that outer seam. As you can see, this is my sleeve. I'm gonna fold it right sides together and sew this outer seam. Let me know below if you like this angle that I'm doing today. Do you prefer this angle or do you like it better when I do it the other way? Let me know below. I'm trying something new today, and I did this with the doll pattern and it worked out so well, and then I thought maybe I could do it with a big pattern as well, and I don't know. You let me know what you think. All right, we're gonna grab our sleeve and we're gonna turn it right side out. And as you can see, I've marked my sleeve with the 2 little notches are the back, the front, and then the shoulder cap. You need to make sure that you have your sleeve marked. Your markings are on your pattern piece, because when you go to put it on, that's what you're going to use. So I know that the 1 notch is my front, so I know that this sleeve belongs here. And I'm going to attach it by first mark where the top mark is. I'm gonna pin that or clip it right sides together, and then I'm also going to clip that bottom seam right here, and your sleeve should fit right in nicely. So raw edges right sides together all the way around. Sew that on. I'm gonna do the same for the other sleeve. All right, so we are basically done. We just got a couple things to do. Number 1 would be if you want, if you're doing cuffs, you would do cuffs, but I am not, I am hemming. So you would just fold it under 1/2 inch and hem. I'll do that. And then also the next thing would be, like I said earlier, this pattern is supposed to be left raw, so you can leave those edges raw. But if you wanted to hem the bottom, you can go ahead and hem that bottom, or leave it raw if you wanted to. But because I have my fabric has like this lining, and the lining does shed a little bit, I am going to go ahead and hem my whole front. But that's all we've got left to do. We just got that hemming. I'm gonna do that hemming, and then our jacket is done. How cute is this gonna look on? Look at it. Looks so cute. I'm gonna go ahead and finish it up, and then I'm gonna show you what it looks like on. Now, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention this. If you are not hemming, one of the things that we advise for you to do is to still put in a top stitch along the outer edge of your jacket. This will keep the jacket and keep it in shape, keep a good shape for the jacket, and it will also help it to stay towards the inside instead of like rolling. Like if you have fabric that rolls, it would help the fabric stay more straight and such. So you would do even if you're not hemming, you would do a straight stitch, a top stitching all the way along the whole thing. But I think I am going to go ahead and just do a light hem all the way around, just because my lining does kind of shed out a little bit, and you know, just for extra looks. All right, friends, we are finished with our jacket. It turned out so amazing. I love it. I love the fit of it. I love this area in the front. It just crosses over. The pocket looks so good. Both pockets. I think it just looks really, really good. What do you think? Let me know what you think below. Let me know if you enjoyed this sewing tutorial. Please comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Go sew up your own version of this jacket, because it is so simple, so cute, so stylish, so trendy. I'm probably going to go make myself a few more because I love it so much. It's super cute. But
I hope you have a great rest of your day. Subscribe if you haven't so you never miss any of our tutorials. And we'll see you next time. Bye.